Hello everyone, I am back once again, and I am going to be showcasing another Wi-Fi match for Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. My opponent for this match is going to be Immortals, and I believe he did not specify a tier for this match, so because of that, I'm actually going to be using the Sharpedo team once again, since it's a mixed OU team anyway. But yeah, so anyways, the team that he has right here, as you can see, is kind of interesting actually, because there's no OU mons here, at least as far as I'm aware. I don't know if Pinsir's an OU mon. I don't think Typhlosion is, and believe it or not, I don't think Cloyster is either, honestly. So I think this team is more so on the UU side of things. It's more so a UU mixed tier or team, not tier. Jeez, I don't know why I keep saying that, but yeah. Anyways, bottom line is that the team can be scary because remember what I mentioned in my last video about people who use like under tiered mons, but can put in a lot of work with them if they know how to use it correctly. And if there's one thing I struggle with a lot is low tier mons, because I'm just not familiar with their strategies a lot of the time, so I usually don't know what to expect in these situations. So obviously I'm gonna have to try to see what I can do in this with the team that I use here and see if I can make it work, and hopefully I don't get like schmixed or something, because that's a possibility honestly. But here we go. So he's going to lead off with the Cloyster, surprisingly enough. I didn't expect him to lead this way, honestly. I led with Raikou, which is the reasoning behind this was because at the time, I don't know why, but I thought that his team did not have any form of Volt Switch immunity, and I just thought I could just Volt Switch at my leisure. And he did lead with Cloyster, so I was thinking, oh yeah, we can definitely Volt Switch. However, for some reason, I just did not consider the Lantern being electrical type. Like, I knew it was a water type, but for some reason I just wasn't thinking it'd be electric, even though I know for a fact it is an electric type mon as well, and that it does have a Volt Absorb. So yeah, I don't know, like this was a derpy moment for me actually, because I actually thought, or I didn't think, I just wasn't thinking, basically. That was what happened. I just wasn't thinking. Like I saw Lantern and I was just thinking, oh, water type, but I didn't think about about it being electrical type and whatnot. So yeah, obviously that was kind of bad for me, obviously. So here obviously I decided to just switch out and go immediately into Tangrowth, because I don't want anything else on my team to be taking damage, and I feel like Lantern can't really do much to Tangrowth. So yeah, he's gonna go for Scald now, and it doesn't do anything, unfortunately, because my luck is still pretty terrible in this generation. I am still gonna get burned out right away, obviously, but that doesn't really matter too much on Tangrowth. It's a lot better than getting Toxic Poison, honestly. So yeah, it's not that big of a deal. I think the only downside really is just that Knockoff doesn't do as much damage now because it's burned, but its primary source of attack is going to be Giga Drain anyway. Knockoff is just, kind of like a utility move more so than an offensive move. So yeah, so I go for Knockoff right here because I actually expect him to switch out with this Lantern. I don't expect him to want to stay in with this Lantern. In fact, I anticipated the Victory Bell to come in right here because, it's one of the things that Tangrowth actually can't do much to it, honestly. Like, even if this thing had Earthquake, it wouldn't be able to do much damage. So obviously because of that, I had to, go for Knockoff to at least knock off whatever item this thing had. And as you can see, it was a Heat Rock. So obviously that was actually indicating that what he wanted to do with this Victory Bell was set up Sunny Day, have it last for over 8 or over 4 turns actually, because it doesn't go over 8 turns. 8 turns is the maximum amount of turns that Sun can be up, and then have it run House with Typhlosion as well. So, or even the Victory Bell, because that Victory Bell could be Chlorophyll, honestly. But yeah, so I'm gonna switch out. Obviously I go into Arcanine because this is kind of like the only thing that can really take hits from Victory Bell. I mean, there's also Flygon, but I kind of didn't want Flygon to take any damage, which you'll see later in this match is actually kind of important, but we'll get to that later. So for now, I'm actually gonna try to go for the Flare Blitz, or not the Flare Blitz, the Crunch actually, because I am aware that he still has the Lantern, obviously, and he could switch that in. So obviously I don't want to have to go for Flare Blitz and be locked into this and have him go for an obvious Volt Switch, obviously. So yeah, I've decided to go for Crunch, and if I get the defense drop, I might even stay in, honestly, even if it takes out my Arcanine. But yeah, so here comes the Lantern as expected. I go for the Crunch. Unfortunately, even Banded, it does nothing, which is kind of insane to me, honestly. See, this is why you can never underestimate low tier mons, because even mons like Arcanine, when they're choice banded, it just doesn't do absolutely anything, which is crazy to me, honestly. But anyways, here I'm gonna switch out obviously because I don't want Arcanine to take any more unnecessary damage. I go into Clefable, and unfortunately for me, he is gonna go for the Volt Switch. I didn't want to switch in Flygon on the off chance he stayed in and just went for the Scald. Obviously, he gets a crit with this Volt Switch as well because he's lucky and whatnot, and I'm not. So yeah, here I believe he's now gonna think in what he sends out. I think what he sends out here is the Typhlosion question mark. It's either that or the Victreebel. Oh no. Actually, I think he sends out the what's his name? The Ursaring. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, he's gonna send out the Ursaring. Yeah, there we go. So Ursaring. Now this one, this is one of those mons that I literally know very little of, but I kind of have an idea of what it usually likes to run. I was aware that this thing could have guts. I didn't remember what its speed stat was. And I saw the Toxic Orb, so I was thinking, oh shit, it's definitely going to be guts, obviously. So I was just like, you know what, I'm going to set up the rocks right now. And he is going to go for the Facade, and that does a lot, as you can see. But I really needed to get these rocks up because it was really, really important, so for his later switch-ins, basically. Now here, I believe here I try to go for the Moonblast because, it's on the off chance he sets up or something, or tries to set up it or whatnot. But yeah, here I was just looking at my team to see if I had any options, but you're gonna see that I just don't because, Ursaring with Toxic Orb. Like, I know Ursaring hits really, really hard as well, especially after Toxic Orb Guts boost and whatnot, because, it's very dangerous, obviously. Because it has Facade, and Facade boosted by Guts, boosted by Stab, it's just a nightmare, honestly, I can imagine. And to make matters worse right here, now he's at +2, because he actually stays in and goes for the Swords Dance, instead of just continuously attacking me. And yeah, I do get some damage on this thing. And the Toxic Orb damage is actually going to be racking up a bit. Now here, I am going to lose Clefable, and I think what I do here is actually one of the more, I guess, I don't know, like, I can't say it was a bad play, but I also, or maybe it was because of the fact that I just didn't consider the other abilities of Ursaring. But you're going to see right here for a bit that I'm going to send in Sharpedo right here. Because I think, you know what, I think this is the opportunity for Sharpedo to outspeed this thing. Because I wanted to believe that Ursaring wasn't that fast. Given its stature, I didn't think it would be that fast, honestly. And in fact, after looking him up after this match, I think his speed is like 55 or some shit like that. I don't remember, but it was definitely not faster than 90, obviously. And Sharpedo's 95. And I think this Sharpedo is also jolly in nature as well. So there was none of that like adamant low speed shenaniganry going on there. But yeah, so I'm going to send in Sharpedo. And typically I would go for Protect in order to just, be reassured that I'm going to outspeed this thing. But I was thinking, nah, this thing is Guts anyways. It's not Scarved. I can just outspeed this thing and just go for the Crunch. Take it out, obviously, because I believe I can take it out from this point. Unfortunately for me, I did not consider the fact that this thing could have Quick Feed, because I don't think I even knew that this thing could get Quick Feed. I knew it could get Guts because I think those were like one of the sets that Ursaring's packed in the Battle Tower when I used to do Battle Tower matches in Diamond and Pearl back in the days of yore. But that was about it. I don't think I ever saw Quick Feed on Ursaring, honestly. So yeah, it just didn't occur to me that Quick Feed was an option for Ursaring. Oh yeah, and by the way, the Ursaring went down due to the Toxic Orb damage because, it's a Toxic Orb, so it got Toxic Poison, not regular Poison. Which now kind of makes me feel like, had he ran a Flame Orb instead of a Toxic Orb, he would have freaking swept me right here, honestly, most likely. Especially after setting up the +2. Even Tangrowth was doomed here, honestly, if he had the Flame Orb. And because this thing was Quick Feed, I wasn't even sure if a +1 speed Sharpedo with Jolly Nature boost was going to be enough to outspeed a +2 speed Ursaring. I might have, but I wasn't sure, honestly. So yeah, obviously that was kind of, it was pretty bad for me, honestly, this whole thing. That losing Sharpedo like that it felt like a kick to the gut, honestly. But yeah, anyways, so here now I'm gonna send in Arcanine, and he's gonna send out the this thing, the Typhlosion. I don't know why the hell I forgot this thing's name, but yeah, get intimidated off. But that's like not important, obviously, because this thing is not a physical attacker anyway. I go for the E-speed here after it took rocks because I wanted to actually, like basically discard the possibility of him going for eruption. He ends up going for focus miss and thankfully misses, which might have been huge because Arcanine might not have been alive after this, honestly. But yeah, it is what it is. I take advantage of this opportunity to switch out and go into Raikou and just go for the Thunderbolt, I believe. No, actually, I think it was the Volt Switch, actually. Which, again, like, I think here I wasn't thinking about the Lantern coming in. I was just thinking of, getting damage on this Typhlosion, honestly. And I kind of was expecting him to switch, but for some reason I wasn't expecting him to switch into the Lantern for some reason. I don't know why. This was kind of dumb in a way, but yet not dumb because it actually ended up working out for me. But yeah, he's gonna land 2 focus misses and actually do a lot of damage, but thankfully not enough to take me out, and I actually get to take this thing out instead. Now here, I'm gonna actually go, I believe, into the Arcanine again. Just because I wanted to intimidate whatever comes in that's left on his team for whatever it's worth, honestly, because he still has Lantern, of course, but I just wanted to see if I can bring out something other than the Lantern. But I did send out Arcanine regardless. Oh, I think the reason why I sent out Arcanine was because he has the Pinsir, and if I were to send out Flygon or Tangrowth, it might just get free damage before actually anything else. And I wanted to see if I can get maybe the Intimidate off on that. I think that's why I sent out Arcanine first. But yeah. Now here, he does think for a while, but I think he ends up sending in the Pinsir actually here. And which was kind of odd for me actually, because I felt like at the time, like Pinsir, I wasn't sure what the speed was at the time. I forgot it, in fact, what the speed was, and I didn't really felt like I had time to actually look it up. But I was thinking, okay, he sent out the Pinsir on an Arcanine, so he had to have been scarfed, right? Well, I wasn't sure, and I was also like wondering if it's not scarfed, maybe I should be able to outspeed it, because it does look slow, but I just don't know if it was or not, honestly. So this is one of those things where I just don't know the mons very well because I never did any research on them and whatnot, so I don't know what to expect from them. This is the real downside to dealing with low tier mons with a higher tier team, is just because I don't really know what to expect from these mons. So these opponents can really have all kinds of tricks up their sleeves that I'm not even aware of, honestly. But with this Pinsir, I was looking at my team to see if I even had switch-ins, but I really don't. I just have Tangrowth and Flygon, and I didn't want either of the two taking X-Scissors because, that could be fatal later on. So I just decided to stay in with Arcanine and hope he didn't go for the Earthquake, although most likely he was going to have it, because why else would he send in Pinsir right here? So yeah, I decided to just stay in and I believe try to go for the Crunch. It's either that or the Flare Blitz, I don't remember. Yeah, okay, it was the Flare Blitz. Even if he sent out the Lantern, I just wanted to see if I can actually outspeed this thing. And he did turn out to be scarfed, and he does go for the Earthquake. Which, yeah, losing Arcanine sucks. I was also kind of tilted here because I didn't get the Intimidate off on this thing for some reason. Even though this thing is not Hyper Cutter, it was Moxie instead. I don't know if me sending out the Arcanine first had anything to do with it, but it is what it is, obviously. And here, I'm going to go for the Flygon now because he went for Earthquake and he did outspeed me, and I wanted to believe that this might have been a choice set. In fact, I think if this thing actually switches out, then most likely he is choice guard and he's just locked into Earthquake. Which makes this Pinsir very much scary because this thing could actually clean up the whole match basically, and basically take me down. But yeah, here he's going to switch out, and obviously I think he's going to send out the Victory Bell here just to take a whatever I go for. I just went for the Dragon Claw because I know that Pinsirs can resist Earthquake, and if he were to stay in, obviously, I wanted to just get as much damage as possible and whatnot. So I went for Dragon Claw, and that's a 2-hit KO on the Victory Bell. Now here, I was looking at my team for some reason, but I think it was just more so like me trying to see how I can play around his team right now with what he has, with what I have as well, honestly. Because he has quite the lead right now. He has 4 Mons on his team still. I'm about to take one of them out right now with Victory Bell, but like I feel like he has a lot of options here. In fact, this was, I think, the part of the match where I was starting to like kind of resign myself to like lose this match, because I haven't lost in a while already. So I was just thinking, am I just gonna lose here? I was bracing myself for losing because you know that ultimately I don't really like losing, but I know it's bound to happen at some point. So here I was just bracing myself because I didn't really see myself winning this match because, yeah, he still has the pincer, and if that pincer scarfed, all he needs to do really is just take out one of my mons and make sure that both of my mons have prior damage, and that way he'd be able to clean up. But here he's gonna put me in a very, very tight situation and send out the cloister. Now here, this was where I felt like I definitely lost, because he can either ice shard me or set up the shell smash depending on what he calls out here. I decided to just switch in Raikou, and if he goes for shell smash, then he pretty much wins, obviously. But I didn't want to take the ice shard. Thankfully he ends up going for the ice shard instead of predicting me to switch out and go for the shell smash. So that pretty much was a lifesaver right there, because now I can sack Raikou, which was pretty much useless at this point, and now I can send out Tangrowth, and I was hoping that I can take a 5 hits from the Icicle Spear, because you know that most cloisters are skill link anyway, so they most likely are gonna, you know, land all 5 hits of Icicle Spear, and because it's stab, it does a lot of damage. So yeah, all I needed was to survive this Icicle Spear attack, and if I do, go for Giga Drain, get HP back, and probably lose the Tangrowth right afterwards, because I can't switch out after this because he still has the pincer, and the pincer can pretty much kind of destroy me, honestly, at this point. So I'm gonna go for the Giga Drain here. I think here what I was hoping was that maybe if I could actually like resist or take the X-Scissor, but given the amount of HP that I got from the Giga Drain, which wasn't enough, honestly, pretty much made me like lose hope in that possibility. So here he's gonna bring out the pincer and pretty much like get a free Moxie, which means that on paper he should win, because I don't think that, even given the amount of HP that he has left right here after the rocks, given the powerlessness of Flygon, I didn't think that a stab Dragon Claw would be enough to take it out. Stab Outrage perhaps, but I didn't want to have Outrage on the off chance they my opponents brought, like, you know, fairy types and whatnot. So I packed it with Dragon Claw. So after losing this Tangrowth, I go into Flygon and was just thinking, you know what, I think I actually lose this match, because there's just no way I can win this thing. Like, there's no way Flygon can do this much. I feel like pincers do have decent defense, so I just didn't think it was possible for me to take this thing out with Dragon Claw. And Earthquake, it resists it, so it wasn't gonna do anything. Steel Wing is not stab, so Dragon Claw was literally my only way to even, like, you know, have hope for some miracle to happen, which crazily enough does seem to happen, because I get the freaking crit here and take out the pincer, and I survived the +1 X-Scissor too, which was like huge. Had I taken prior damage with this Flygon, this matchup would have been over for sure, and I would have lost. But now I don't, because now comes this this Lantern, and unless this thing is Shucka Berry, I pretty much win this match. And as you can see, it's not Shucka Berry, it's actually Lefties, or something. But yeah, I take out the Lantern as well, and we pretty much won this match by the skin of our teeth, which is actually insane, honestly, because damn, I was not expecting to win that, honestly, at all. Like, I really was just bracing myself to lose, because I was like thinking, you know what, I haven't lost in a while, I think this would be a good time to lose. And out of nowhere I just get this crit, and I'm just like, wow. Again, I don't know if it mattered, because again, I wasn't really sure what the investments were on this pincer, but I feel like the pincer has decent enough defense that it probably would have been able to take a Dragon Claw from Flygon. But again, I'm not really sure. Bottom line is that crit, I feel like, kind of made me like feel like, oh shoot, I might actually win this, especially after surviving the X-Scissor at +1. But yeah, anyways, so that's gonna be the whole match. But I just wanted to let you guys know that yeah, this is basically the last match that I'm gonna be able to showcase in Generation 8, but it's not the last match that you'll see for Generation 8, because like I said in one of my Pack League videos, I actually have a lot of matches for Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, and a few from Sword and Shield that I want to showcase. And unfortunately I can't showcase them right now or even the day afterwards, because I'm actually going to be gone for the weekend. And I think once I get home from the trip, obviously, I'm actually probably going to take like another week of a break before showcasing any more videos on this channel. So yeah, I just thought I'd let you guys know that, obviously, because I don't want to leave you guys hanging. Also, just know that I will in fact get all of my Wi-Fi matches for Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl out of the way, even if it's during the hype train for Scarlet and Violet, because like I said before, or actually I don't think I've even said this at all actually, but I do have quite an opinion on Scarlet and Violet. The games are not that impressive to me, honestly. Like, they're not. I never liked these starters, for one thing. The starters from Scarlet and Violet pale in comparison to the ones that were introduced and reintroduced in Generation 8, so it's just like, yeah, no. I just felt like this was just a downgrade, if anything. Don't even get me started on some of the characters' expressions. They look as bland as they did in Sun and Moon, honestly, so it's just, those are just a couple of nitpicks right there, honestly. But, like, what I've seen so far is just not that impressive. And also, I don't know if I'm spoiling things by saying this, but if you don't want spoilers, or, I guess close this video. I'm already done with the Wi-Fi match anyway. But, yeah, in Scarlet and Violet, the 20-minute timer is back. And there doesn't seem to be any indication that that there's even like a chess timer like there was for Sword and Shield. So if 20-minute matches is all we're literally gonna have and not have any other options like the chess timer, then Wi-Fi matches in this game is gonna suck, honestly. At least for singles, because I'm pretty sure doubles is still pretty much thriving because they don't have a problem with 20-minute timers, honestly. So yeah, so don't be surprised if and only if I were to still do Wi-Fi matches in Sword and Shield or even Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. In fact, let me be honest with you. I have a feeling that Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl might actually still be a thing even after Scarlet and Violet and whatnot, because you know how Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl didn't introduce any mons from Generations 5 and onwards? So I figured, you know what, with Scarlet and Violet out, it wouldn't be any different if Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl were released this year than it would have been after Scarlet and Violet were released. It would still be the same shoe leather because the new mons wouldn't be present in those games. So it's like, I feel like the games would actually age a lot better than Sword and Shield, crazily enough. Even though I think Sword and Shield has like better Wi-Fi matches, but like I think because of the way Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl was built, I feel like it can still hold up for a while, honestly. But I don't know, that's just my opinion on the whole thing, honestly. But bottom line is that I'm not really too impressed with Scarlet and Violet, honestly. But I haven't played the games yet, so obviously I'm not like, I can't just jump the gun and say, oh, I hate these games, because I can't really say that if I don't even know what the games consist of. This is just based on what I've seen so far, and personally I'm not really impressed. In fact, I think I said this. I said during my playthrough that if Scarlet and Violet came out and the Cyrus team were to be present, I think I'm just gonna probably try to play through the game with that, honestly, instead of using any of the starters. Just because, again, I'm not really too thrilled by the starters. I don't like any of their designs, honestly. So it's just like, nah. And if the Cyrus team is not possible in this game, I might not even play through the game, honestly. I might just play through it like off screen or some shit and like maybe do Wi-Fi matches just to see how it works and whatnot. But that's about it. And maybe just for your guys' entertainment, but that's about it, honestly. I mean, not actually commit to it as much, but that's what I said for Sword and Shield, and look what happened here. At the very last minute, or in a way, I ended up freaking showcasing all kinds of matches. But yeah, that's how I function sometimes. But yeah, anyway, so if you watch this match, thank you for watching, obviously. I'll catch you guys for the next match whenever I get to it, which is not going to be anytime soon, obviously, just because I'm going to be out. And I might be taking a break for a bit as well, honestly, so yeah. Until next time, for now, just take it easy and have yourselves a good one.